3% my ass.
Green Mamba my ass. Oh,
3%,
shit.
bro.
We're live. I gotta hit the intro.
Ahora de Cuba la Bella, del Palacio de los Jugos.
Los chicharrones.
Los vecinos aquí se enteran de todo.
Mi vecina era CDR en Cuba.
Y en verdad no hay nothing that you can do. Chacleteras sin llames con corbata.
Aquí yo vendo hot dog, pero en Cuba yo era médico.
Les saco el dedo y digo Q. Sweet home Hialeah. Solo 30 minutos de Le Fallo. Oh, sweet home Hialeah. I hate your traffic, but I love you.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of East 10th Street Boys straight out of Hialeah on the Fitz Talk Sports Network. That's the new and improved, freshly haircut Alex Atiachisca. I am Bobby O. Gringo, Bobby Fitz Talk. Forgive me if I'm a little stuffy or red cheeked. I am. Just hit me like a ton of bricks today. If you know, you got a cold, I guess that's coming on. But hey, you know what? No cancellations, no reschedules. We are doing this.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. The Miami Heat are 3-0 against the Boston Celtics. Who would have thought? That guy did. Alex Atiachisca. Got to give him his props for now. We'll see what happens tomorrow. The Florida Panthers are looking to go 3-0 against the Carolina Hurricanes, and they are up 1-0 in the second period, which is awesome. Watching that right now. We're going to be following that live. Of course, the Los Angeles Lakers trying to avoid elimination against the Denver Nuggets. They are up currently. Let me just make sure they still are.
It's the largest lead.
Well, you're following. Maybe I'll stick to the Panthers. You got the Lakers. Well, let me go ahead and see what's going on. I was just watching that.
Let's see that.
Yeah, you got a 9-point lead. You got a 9-point lead for the Lakers. You said it yesterday, but I agree with you. I think the Lakers are going to take this game, extend the series. We'll see what happens in Denver.
I want to see if it's sustainable come third or fourth, because I know LeBron started on a mission, but can the supporting cast come around in the third, fourth quarter, or is he just going to run out of gas?
Absolutely. Let's see here. Of course, we're also going to touch on the Dolphins. The Dolphins started the OTAs. Their OTAs, we're going to touch on that. Orange jerseys is back. Touch on that a little bit. Orange jersey player.
Did you see Mike McDaniel yesterday at the game?
I did. He is on all cylinders doing it for Miami.
He's the funnest coach, man, in the whole league, bro.
He becomes bigger. I don't mean this in a bad way, but he's bigger than. Of course, you got to win games, because then it's not going to matter. Then people are going to get annoyed of you. But he's becoming bigger than just being the coach of the Dolphins. He's going to be, that personality. People are going to be, they're going to be driven to him.
He's the epitome of the modern day coach.
Absolutely.
Like, people have this thing, obviously, in all serious, like when you're coaching, you got to have serious moments. You got to have, you got to earn players' respect. But coaching you don't have to always be grumpy and mad all the time and screaming all the time. There's many different types of coach, especially the modern day player. So it's pretty refreshing. It's cool to see.
Absolutely. I'm going to make
I
sure I got everything.
And I scream half the time to all my kids, and I'm playing, and they're 10 years old. So I got to follow my advice. Like, I'm a little hypocritical of myself. I'll self-check myself.
Oh, man. All right. So we got, just following up here, Florida Panthers. Yeah. It is a power play right now. Florida. 1-0. Panthers have
another power play?
Another power play right now. It's going down right now. And it's going fast. Yeah, it's going fast right now. So
what a job by Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. He totally redeemed himself this season. He's justified his contract by all means. He is on a mission.
Dude, you know what
He's a vacuum, bro.
I think the Heat, even though I know they're focused on their own individual thing, I think they are driven by each other right now, the Panthers and the Miami Heat. I mean, and how
Just
epic
a Florida thing right now.
Dude, and how epic it's going to be. I was talking about it yesterday, that it's possible. And of course, it's 99% sure, at least on the Heat side, but more than likely the Panthers too, that we're going to have two South Florida Miami teams in their championship series,
At the same time.
At the same time, and
because hockey, that's crazy about hockey and basketball. It overlaps. Like it's literally an 82-game season, the same time frame. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool for a city that we've never experienced this, honestly.
No, we haven't. And
I think it's an overload on 49th Street. Like, I think there's literal businesses that might burn down and close shop if you have two parades. Which is one thing, though. Why is that, Bob? Now, why do people, in form of celebration, destroy their city? Like, how do you celebrate? By burning cars, breaking through convenience stores, local shops. Like, I never got that part. Like, why am I gonna tear down a light post?
I think if you're doing that, I don't think you're a real fan. I think you're just taking an opportunity to be an asshole.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're not a real fan. You're not really cheering.
You don't even watch the games. You don't even watch the games.
Watch the games. Or really give a damn. You're that dude who just saw that we won and you want to go join it. You're gonna screw it up for everybody else. Burning shit down. That's like, you look at LA when that happened. It's never happened in Miami.
Oh.
We got 5 championships since you and I.
Yeah, that's true. I've never seen any,
pots and pans,
nothing
traffic.
Like
yeah, the parades, but we've never had a situation where we burned anything down, or I'm talking about the city.
A lot of women in pickup trucks, that's for sure.
Yeah. But no, I think those people there has nothing to do with fandom. I think it's just pure stupidity. You're just being a jackass.
You're being a jackass.
Just being a jackass. Oh gosh. But oh my gosh. Okay, so 61-48. What quarter are we at on the Lakers game?
Lakers are about to be halftime. 4 minutes to the half.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 minutes and change.
I know it's easy to say no. It's easy to say no about the Lakers, and just like it is easy to say no about the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
I think first off, let me get past the Lakers point. We'll get to the Celtics in a second. I want to talk about team, and I saw somebody say that the Celtics have the talent, not likely, but they have the talent to come back. And then somebody said that the Lakers have the Celtics have the superior team or the superior team, and it was actually Clutch. Fast break. I thought it the same thing, but he wrote it. But he was like, they have the talent. You could say they have superior talent overall on their roster, but they are not the superior team. Look up the definition of team. The Miami Heat play like a basketball team. The Celtics look like a team playing individually, each and every one. Yeah. But, we know how strong really the Nuggets are. We know they may give one up. You're up 3-0. This is usually the time a team kind of, sits back, lets the game come to them, and they could give one up, and they're like, okay, we can win this on our home floor in the next game. But realistically, let's say the Lakers pull this out tonight. They finish it. They're down 3-1. Obviously, no team ever in history has ever come back off 0-3, being down 3 games, 0-3 win, 0 wins, 3 losses. How likely, do the Lakers have enough to pull off the shock of the world and come back 7 games to take out the Nuggets? Do they have enough?
No, they don't have enough because they don't have any defense. I mean, you could argue you have LeBron James. Still at his age, he's a problem no matter what. And you got Anthony Davis, but they don't have any defensive ability to stop Jokic, Murray, Porter. You need to have a total collapse or a catastrophic injury to one of their key players in order for them to pull it off. Obviously, I'm not wishing anything on anybody, but realistically speaking, I mean, anything can happen in sports. That's the beauty of it. Anybody can win 4 straight games. And it's funny because I forgot if I think it was actually Moss she was talking about why can teams win in a sweep? Obviously, you win 4 straight, but a team cannot win 4 straight being down 0-3. That's a psychological factor. That's the psyche.
That's a fair point. That's a fair question too.
And when she tweeted that, I'm like, wow. I mean, you never really analyze it, but the point is valid. You're winning 4 games, but obviously, as a psyche, why is the closeout game so difficult?
Yeah,
because it's the psychological. You have a team that it's at its point of a breaking point, so they're going to do anything it takes. Which is why, in the case of Boston, you kind of see like there's no way they can do anything because their backs were against the wall. It was a must-win game, and you just completely lay flat. Like you expect this from the Lakers. This is how I expected the Boston Celtics to play yesterday. So the Lakers have fight, but can they do this for 4 quarters? Because you see right now they're up 10, Bob.
yeah.
I guarantee you in the 4th quarter, this game is going to come down to a 3-4 point game. You're going to have a few fouls. They're going to swing it back and forth. The referees are going to try to keep it close. But the Nuggets can blow this off in the 4th quarter. So I want to see how it. Oh, there you go. Mike Malone got teed up. I love Mike Malone. That's another thing, Bob. We talked about this yesterday. What I look forward to, hopefully, a Nuggets and Heat series is the coaching. The teams are pretty even, and they play with a chip on the shoulder, and they play beautiful team basketball. There is no ego in either team. You can argue that these are the 2 teams with their superstar are the most unselfish player on their team, and the Nuggets having Jokic and the Heat having Butler and Bam per se as well. So it's beautiful basketball to be played, honestly.
It is, and you think about the coaching matchup, but you also think about, I mean, again, another matchup potentially, Nuggets Heat, that.
Okay, LeBron's about to have 30 points in the first half.
Realistically, I don't know how many people are going to pick the Heat, minus fans, right? I mean,
no one's going to pick the Heat.
Yeah, they're going to go with the Joker, and I mean, you
first the analysts.
What was the first excuse when the Heat when the Heat beat the Bucks? What was the excuse?
Oh, Giannis was hurt.
When they beat the Knicks. Well, let's say this: when it was the Nuggets, when it was the Bucks versus the Heat, the majority picked who?
Oh, the Bucks. Everybody picked the Bucks. Yeah.
And the excuse
they said that we're going to get swept.
Not me though. But the majority, yes, they said we're going to swept. And then when they beat the Bucks in 5, right? It was Giannis was hurt. Then majority picked the Knicks. Madden's at Square Garden. All of a sudden, it means something to play there, and it means something to play against the Knicks, who don't have the same playoff experience that the Heat have collectively. Mm-hmm. What was the excuse after we beat the Knicks when no one was choosing us to beat the Knicks? It's the Knicks. You beat nobody. Yeah. All of a sudden,
the weather.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Stupid. That was so dumb.
I never thought in my life I would hear the excuse of weather affecting an indoor basketball game. Never in my life. I mean, when you hear that, is there any doubt that the ESPN analysts were going to give you a 3% chance of winning a series? Which, honestly, just on the face front of it, these are playoffs teams. Like, honestly, I want to see, what people keep calling out the analysts? I want to see what the analysts use for information in order to make that determination. I want to see that. Where did they arrive at 3%?
I don't know.
Dude, this is insane. Right now,
to me, they lose credibility.
Lakers are up 14, right? LeBron James has to score 31 points. You can make an argument that at this day and age, the Lakers need LeBron James to score 62 points to win a playoff game. That matters. So I'm telling you, that is the level of basketball that the Denver Nuggets play. Watch, it's going to be a completely different half. There's going to be adjustments.
If and when the Lakers get eliminated, what can they do to remain competitive in the West, or to put themselves over the hump? What real opportunity? What can they do that doesn't set them back, that they could continue to build around LeBron and AD? Like, what's out there?
automatically the number one thing is Kyrie Irving, and then you have the decision whether you match Austin Reeves, because Austin Reeves is going to get more money than the Lakers can offer outright. But I believe they have the option to match their contract. Obviously, they're going to go over the cap. But I don't know if they have there's early bird rights. I'm not 100% sure. I'll check that out after. But they have multiple options because, like we talked about before, this offseason, there's going to be record player movement, I believe. There's a lot of movement in this offseason because whenever you see a lot of coaching changes like that and a lot of seismic moves possibly with Harden being a free agent, obviously I don't think he's going to consider LA, most likely Houston. When you have Wembayama coming to San Antonio, that causes another seismic wave. You want players going there. You have to see what Dame's going to do. The situation in Milwaukee. People are overlooking this a little bit. Milwaukee doesn't have a coach yet. Toronto doesn't have a coach yet. They're going to wait it out. Boston might make a move. Jaylen Brown. Do you extend them? Do you extend Tatum? Do you rebuild now? There's a lot of situations. There's a lot of quote-unquote super. We thought last year was hectic with Durant and Mitchell. Get ready for this offseason. There's going to be a lot of moves. Like, there's no free agency really anymore. And they made a point yesterday where Harden kind of confirmed, reports confirming that Harden's going to go to Houston. And Houston has the cap space. Philadelphia probably try to do a sign and trade to not lose them for nothing. But how is Embiid? Embiid backed up Doc. There's a bunch of things going on about that. It's going to be so crazy this offseason because once again, it takes one domino. And then there's seismic moves through the NBA. And there is parity in the NBA finally. So all teams believe they have a shot. That's why you got to go for it. The Celtics went from possibly having their championship window shut this year. And you see the mentality with Marcus Smart. Like, oh, we beat you last year. We're good. No, you're not, man. Like, I know your coach was thrown into a situation. Remember we talked about this in the preseason about does coaching matter?
Yeah.
And at the end, coaching matters in these moments. And you see the difference. And there's not a knock on Joe Mazzulla. I really hope he doesn't get fired or he gets a chance somewhere else. But he was thrown into a fire. He's 34 years old. He's a rookie head coach.
34 years old, bro. 34.
He's younger than us. And he's coaching an Eastern Conference Finals.
Good on him. But I feel for him. I really do. I mean, a lot of questionable calls, though.
Of course. You know, it's the inexperience, Bob. It's the inexperience.
But, dude, you and I mean this respectfully. I'm not saying nothing bad on him. I mean, he's there. And it doesn't matter how talented how much of a talented team you have. You're in the Eastern Conference Final in your first year with that team as their coach. But you say inexperience. I'll put you in there, and I won't say me, but I would. It is, I would see it. How do you not put Robert Williams? Why are you putting Derek White? I mean, it doesn't. I can't see you making that decision, even if you're experienced. If they put you in right now, they said, Alex, you're coaching. Let's put you the coach of the Boston Celtics. I think you see that flaw. I think you see that, and you go, "Oh, I'm gonna exploit that. I'm gonna exploit that. I'm gonna put Robert Williams."
Of course, at times you do that. I know why he did the Derek White thing, and I probably would have done the same thing because you want more shooting. But the problem is,
you should be fired too then.
In the defensive side, you can't put. I'm pretty sure he put White to cover Jimmy because they were going to double Jimmy every time. But the problem is when they double Jimmy's already too far low. That's a pointless double team. And Stan Van Gundy pointed it out. There's a certain point that a double team becomes basically a wasted possession because now you send your team scrambling to recover and close out, especially with the ball movement that the Heat have. You can't double team unless it's with a purpose, and you have to double team high and quick. You got to double team the moment Jimmy gets the ball. You can't let Jimmy sit in the low post, throw the double team at him 3 or 4 seconds into his dribble because he will commit one turnover off a blitz. Like you gotta defend with a purpose and just the body language. One of the things that coaching wise to me, he improved a little bit. He made some adjustments game 2. But Tatum has to get the ball in the fourth quarter in the high pick and rolls that they were doing in game 2, even without Horford at times with Robert Williams. But Robert Williams. Good memories.
Rest in peace.
He's just misusing the personnel, honestly, at this point. defensively, their body language. I'm not even gonna say his coaching decision, just the overall team body language.
No, they look defeated. They look.
Is shut.
I mean,
It's
and
shut.
Marcus Smart, who is one of the obviously great defensive player, one of the cornerstones of their team. I mean, dude, he looked like he was out of it early. I mean, he looked like. I mean, and by that I mean like not out of the game, just out of it in regards of doing stupid shit.
Mentally.
Like it looked like he was
And
done.
he should have gotten thrown out.
He should have been. That was yeah. I don't know how he did. He got a normal foul. That's not a normal. That's a flagrant. At least a flagrant one. But
And
how does that
in this
common
era
foul?
of-
That's bullshit. That's a crap.
This era, and Stan Van Gundy said is like apparently if you don't connect,
Yeah.
you get a common foul. It's like, dude, he could if he would have struck him, if he would have punched Caleb Martin. That's first of all a brawl. Number one. Number two, that's a suspension. So the intent was there. And he already had a technical before. And you kind of understood the moment you saw the Celtics complaining from the beginning, when a team, two things that stood out to me. Celtics complaining for absolutely every call. And number two, Joe Mazzulla using that challenge in the first quarter. No matter if you have an opportunity to win the challenge, you don't use the challenge in the first quarter. That reminded me of Mike Budenholzer when he used the challenge in the first quarter in Game 5. That's a coaching desperation move. You're trying to get your team to follow you. You're trying to get your team in tune with you, and you use that coach's challenge. You save that for the fourth quarter because you don't know when you're going to need it. So that's a desperation move right away. I want to see how they come out, but I don't see good things in the horizon for them.
No,
Because Miami's hungry. Miami's not going to take this for granted. I'm telling you, the team is ready to go. They're not taking this 3-0 lead lightly. They're going to come out the same way.
And we're touching on the Nuggets, even I mean, because that's the one kind of way it's looking, and I don't want to jinx anything, you know. Even though I guess I'd prefer the Lakers, but still, Nuggets versus Miami.
Oh, matchup wise, Lakers will be better for us matchup wise.
Absolutely. I prefer it. And you know what? Just like the Celtics, to me, it's unfinished business. The Celtics had their T-shirts at their arena before Game 1 was unfinished. Unfinished business.
Unfinished business. Like I didn't get that.
I'm like, to me, the Heat are unfinished business. The Heat fell short one shot. They lost against the Lakers the couple years back. To me, that's unfinished business. That's why I was like, oh, if we could beat the Celtics and then go on and face the Lakers, the destiny's on our side. Now it's the Nuggets, more than likely. And I mean,
we still got it from last year when they injured Morris and that famous shot in the locker room. We still got some grudge there. We could use that.
I think it's going to be an old school final. Heat versus Nuggets. I think it's going to be a physical.
I hope it goes 7.
I hope it goes 4 and it's Miami. I hope it goes 4 and it's Miami.
Bob, tell me one thing. This is the epitome of the way Udonis Haslem would want to end his career. An underdog story. Everybody counted us out the whole year. You literally make the playoffs with 2 minutes left in your final game in the play-in, and you're dominating playoffs. If you manage to win the championship and you send Udonis off into retirement, what a way to do it. Where you thought this whole season was going to be a waste and you couldn't find – bro, I don't know if you saw the numbers. They finally did the comparisons between three-point percentage between regular season and postseason. And this is what you expect. I know some of the numbers, like, for example, for Martin and Robinson are like in the high 40s, and Martin's at 42. So they're not realistic for an 82-game season. But that's exactly what you had in mind when you saw the discrepancies. And you're like, this is what this team was supposed to be. And you can't explain why. The one thing I do say, and I do think, that Spo finally sees. That's why sometimes injuries happen. And people that are talking about Tyler Hero is an essential part of this team this year. And if they bring him back for the finals, they'll find a way that he won't interrupt what people are worried about, that ball fluidity, and the usage rate will be a little bit lower. But if there's one thing that proves again is how comfortable Duncan Robinson makes Bam Adebayo and vice versa. They play well off each other. And people forgot that that's the offense we ran prior to Kyle Lowry. So our offense became a little stagnant, and you start questioning, I'm like, damn. And I look at them, and I'm like, damn, if we would have played Duncan Robinson all year off that second unit, wouldn't our offense been a little bit more fluid, more ball movement? So those are things you second guess yourself with. But I'm just glad it's clicking now.
And that's all that matters. It's now,
Yeah,
right? I
it.
mean, and I'm glad maybe it's the good way to think. It's like, hey, I'm glad it happened that way because
Exactly.
they probably wouldn't be at their spot they are now. They came in with a chip on their shoulder. They had to do a plan, and they beat the Bucks, the number 1 seed. They beat the Knicks, the 6th seed, and now they're going to beat the Celtics, the 2nd seed, to face against the Nuggets, which is, I believe, the top team in the West.
Yeah.
Right.
They're a top team in the West.
Aren't they number 1 seed? So, which again, I get it. I understand. First of all, it's a superstar-driven league, and you think of the 2-time league MVP in Jerkic, and you know that he's going to get the love. You know that everybody's going to favor them. But the Heat have shown this is not a superstar league. This is a team league. The Heat are turning into that, even though Butler is showing himself to be, first off, playoff Jimmy, to be unstoppable, But what's great about yesterday's game is that if you look at the numbers, even though you saw what he was doing, you saw what he did and what it meant to have him on the floor. I love that he went back at Horford, Horford was so, and I love Horford.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he would be perfect here. His size, his
That's true. You wanted Horford. You wanted
yes,
Horford a while back.
That's where I wanted love too. So Horford's the next guy. I mean, I would love it, but dude, I love what Michael said. Michael Jordan. If you're losing, it basically don't talk. And he was losing. He did that stupid timeout thing, and then they were winning, and then Jimmy came all the way back and won the game. It's like and Jimmy did it to him yesterday, and Horford was kind of offended, talking shit. It's like, why? You're the one who did it. But is playoff Jimmy unstoppable? Let me tell you. Yep. Even though yesterday, if you look at his numbers, he only had 16. He was probably 31 minutes, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 16 points, and it's not. You might go, that's not a big game. But you weren't watching everything around him and what he did to the guys around him. I mean, Gabe Vincent, 35 minutes. Of course, you could say garbage points, whatever. 29 points, okay? Bam Adebayo, all right? A lot of people give him grief, all right? 13 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. But look at the attention he drew, for the other guys and the energy he had on the floor. Duncan Robinson, again, you could say garbage minutes. It doesn't matter. He hit some key shots, and then at the end, he was hitting shots. That's going to translate into Game 4. He's going to carry that momentum, I believe, at least, into Game 4. I think what you're seeing now with the Lakers, and again, I don't want to jinx anything here because we know the Celtics are going to come fighting. But I think the Heat have a strong chance, because you usually give up a game in a 3-0 situation. You give up one because you can have an opportunity just to go ahead and close it out. I think the Heat close it out.
Yeah.
The way they're playing, they're going to close this out. They're not going to give one up. They don't want to go back to Boston. They don't want to go back to Boston and have an opportunity to come back to Miami 3-2 to give them an opportunity to go. Caleb Martin in this series, holy crap. Wow. He had 25 points yet the other game 2.
Yeah.
Yesterday he had 18 points. I mean, my goodness. These are guys. What's awesome about this is that, and hey, congratulations to Jovic for getting his first playoff basket. He was very happy about that.
You saw that, man?
I got to give to our buddy Neil, who said that he wanted to see a little more out of him. It's like, hey, he's a rookie. It's garbage time.
Look, it's garbage time. Did you see that pass though?
I care about the win. I care about the win, bro. And
that kid has a bright future, bro.
Strus, 25 minutes, 10 points. Anyway, all around, a great game by the Miami Heat. A balanced out win. And your superstars were just sitting back. They were doing the delegating. Teams were, if you go to Jimmy was double team, all this, whatnot, and they pass it back to Gabe, bucket. Pass it off to Gabe Vincent, bucket.
And
if you look at this,
Bam was extra aggressive and controlled. It wasn't excessive. He was in control. He was playing his game. And for everybody, this is a big shout out for everybody that now is preaching love for Bam and Bam is growing and Bam this and Bam that. I will say again what I said in the beginning of the season. Bam, for example, defensively to this team overall is probably the most important player. Defensively, Bam is to this team what Jimmy is offensively. Everything happens because of that person. So there's a lot of things that
He's
people
the most important
overlook.
player.
Oh no,
He's the most important.
he's the most valuable. But without Bam, none of this. And you saw another step yesterday. People question his aggressiveness. Can Bam step up? And I think he's pretty much answering the call. If you look across these games, there's a marker where he's made his mark on the game, no matter what.
And let me just say too, and I want to get back to the Heat in the parity or the balance of their team overall. Go back to the Celtics again. Big game, small performance by quote unquote the Green Mamba. And I don't want to jinx anything here because he's a superstar. He is a damn good basketball player. I mean, but there's time and time again, I hear so much about Jason Tatum, and in big games, I don't even, he just disappears. He doesn't look like that guy. He has the talent to be an A+ player, but overall, I mean, an A player. I don't mean A+, A player, meaning number one guy. He has the talent to be a number one guy, but really he should be a number two guy. He needs someone to play off of. That he doesn't. The team cannot rely on him. The Celtics need to figure something out to get another guy in there. They tried with Kyrie, didn't work. You need to get a guy who could be your 1A, and this guy be your 2 or your 1B, because. And I'm not advocating for that because I hope they continue to be what they are and fall short. I love it. I hate all the Boston teams. They all suck. They're all freaking, overrated and conceded without winning a damn thing. Jaylen Brown, I like that guy a lot. I like him a lot. The hell's going on out there?
It's a Latin household. That's cool. That's a
my goodness.
That's a normal.
Yeah, it is.
The only thing I think, Bob, I think they ran their course because the combination of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum always reminded me a little bit of when Wade and LeBron's first year here. They didn't know which person, like they would try to get out of their way and they weren't fluent. But Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have grown together. They've developed together.
Oh, they have.
They've just been missing. They've been missing that third piece to unite everything. That's why I said their chance was last year. Their chance was last year because they were clicking on all cylinders. And they had you acquired Brogdon, great. They missed Danilo. They acquired Danilo and he tears his ACL. I would have liked to see what Danilo did to this team. Defensively still, this team is not strong. They were one of the best defensive teams last year. And there was a drop-off. I don't
wonder
know
what it was.
It could be the coaching. Very important. But they're not as in last year. They were locked down. But they look like a team that needs a change. I'm surprised they survived the Sixers, but I'll give that to Doc Rivers. He messed up they should have closed that out in Game 6. But they gave him life. They came back, but they just look lifeless out there, no matter what.
And don't get me wrong. You look at their roster and you look at these players: Tatum, Brown, Horford, Smart, Grant Williams, Brogdon, Robert Williams. There's a lot of good pieces, attractive pieces. Obviously, Tatum and Brown are superstars, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Tatum being number one and whatever.
Absolutely.
But they play individual. They don't play as a team. And I don't want to give them any kind of, I'm not trying to say, oh, this is how you can win. No, F that, lose, enjoy yourself. But they can't win.
And they missed a lot of open shots yesterday, though.
They missed a lot of. And again, where was the team? Where was the teamwork? They weren't passing. They kept taking shots. They were making excuses. Marcus Smart.
That's when you have a disconnected team.
Uncharacteristically playing too aggressive or being aggressively stupid, taking swings. I mean, complaining every chance he got for any kind of call. I mean, it just wasn't there. Jason Tatum very early on looked defeated. Where Miami looked like even when they had the 30-point lead, kept being aggressive. I did not see the Heat take their foot off the throat to the Celtics the entire game. It's a whole different atmosphere. And I want to touch back on the Heat very quick, Alex, because you talked on Hero. You look at the Miami Heat. We don't know what the future holds, but it looks pretty freaking good. It looks fun. We're having a blast no matter what happens against the rest of the series or even the Nuggets or the Lakers in the final. More than likely the Nuggets. This is going to be a fun playoff to remember.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, what matters is the championship. But what the Heat team has shown, we know what happened in the regular season. We know they were a disappointment. They made the playoff plan, but they've showed up in the playoffs and made the money. And good, thank goodness for the plan, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the Heat have shown, we know what they did during the regular season. We know they had something missing. We know the money they have in a Lowry. We know the money they have in a Hero. We've seen what this team can do without Hero. We know that's somebody they're gonna. That's the what do you call that storyline right now? If this team performs like this, let's say without Hero, that how much money is Hero on the books for? 20 what?
I believe it's 28.
28?
Yeah, 28, 29.
And whatever, let's say, are you going to have Larry come off the bench for 20 plus million when you have Vincent starting maybe next season? I don't think you could. I don't see why you wouldn't. And I like Lowry. You know that. And I think he gets a good veteran presence and all this. Miami could have up to 40 million plus to make some moves to get another player or to get a couple players to balance out this roster. And it doesn't have to be a superstar. We'd like it. Is there one superstar who's available next season you could see Miami would see as a good fit? I know you brought up Dame Lillard, but let's talk about who knows what happens with him. I know right now they're saying the Portland Trailblazers are talking about trading the third pick to build around Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
Is there one player that no one has talked about that's in the back of your head that you go, man, if the Heat could find a way to get this guy, and a realistic piece, and I don't want to, I'm not limiting your options. I mean, if it's Embiid, if it's one of these guys, okay. But what piece does nobody talk about that you go, dude, wait a second. He have Hero, who's an attractive value piece. They got Lowry, a veteran aspiring contract, but still a good player. Who's one player that you go, hey, man, no one's talking about, but this dude with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, with this Heat team, this shit can make some noise. Is there any one player?
Though I have a few options, but
the
one player that I keep thinking about because of the situation is possibly Jaylen Brown, because you don't know what's going to happen with that contract. You don't know if he's happy there. But, I mean, predominantly players, either they're happy or not, they signed that deal because it's a max contract. He's not eligible for the super max. He's just eligible for the max. He's eligible for the max. So he's one option. Just obviously throwing the hypothetical scenario, depending on what happens. I do want to monitor the Embiid situation because no matter what happens, no matter, this is the thing about Miami. No matter what happens, no matter we win the NBA Finals, and there's going to be tough decisions to make because you have Strus as a free agent. You got Vincent as a free agent. For Vincent, you're going to get a lot more competition than for Strus. And don't get me wrong, Strus is going to have interest in the market. You can use them at times for signing trades because we have more player development coming right through, more undrafted, which became the storyline. I'm already happy that even Kevin Garnett backed up this whole talk about the fact that people keep saying Miami Heat undrafted players. They're NBA players, no matter what. And people,
Draymond Green, KD.
Exactly. I want people to put this in perspective. In the NBA draft, there's 2 rounds. There's 30 picks per round. That's 60 players. There's a lot of talented players that enter their names every single year in these drafts that do not get drafted, but they still make it into the league. So this whole quote about, yes, I want to emphasize how Miami is a developmental organization and by far the best in the NBA. So players are going to look into that, and opportunity is always going to come. People are always going to compare this offseason. What do we do with Vincent and Strus with what happened with Robinson? You can argue Robinson's contract at the time was fair value. We didn't expect a drop-off in minutes. We didn't expect Strus to come out and do this. But you have Strus performing. You got Vincent performing. You have a tough decision to make. And I think, once again, people are not going to like my boring answer. Miami's okay with the team that they have, especially with Kyle Lowry on an expiring deal. So I don't see Kyle Lowry maybe being here next year, but I also see a possibility where he continues in this role if you sign Gabe Vincent. So there's going to be decisions to make. There's still situations to monitor. What happens with the Clippers, with Kawhi, Paul George. People are going to monitor the Draymond Green situation. The Warriors situation, by the way, Bob, I'm very interested to see how this plays out Bob Myers still hasn't agreed to come back. There's a huge possibility that Bob Myers is elsewhere next year if he doesn't take a year off. And if Bob Myers becomes a free agent and he doesn't sign an extension with the Warriors, there's going to be a few teams that are willing to shake up their front office to acquire Bob Myers. That whole breaks down to Draymond Green, the Klay Thompson situation in the Warriors. You have a lot of let me see. Denver's pretty much set. Sacramento's pretty much set. There's going to be some moves here and there. Phoenix is going to make moves with DeAndre Ayton because they have to make a move to acquire depth, and they're very limited because they're a cap team. So this offseason, people talk about free agency and the draft. There's going to be a lot of trades going down because a lot of these teams making moves are cap teams, and the only way to help each other out is that. So
I love if there was an opportunity to get a Jaylen Brown, I'm all for it. I think Jaylen Brown would be a perfect fit with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Because it's the Celtics, very little chance of something going down like that unless he's a free agent. I can't see it.
But at that point, remember, Brad Stevens is running the operations. If you have a player that you know you're going to lose, you might as well acquire a talent and first-round picks and other assets in Tyler Hero that you have signed for 4 or 5 years. So you have to weigh your options. Now, is there going to be a bidding war? Probably, yeah, like always. But remember, especially now, it all takes is one player to say he doesn't want to be there or he wants to go somewhere else. So the players have all the power.
So I will say this, maybe free agent wise, and a good contract, a fair contract, or maybe a sign and trade and a better deal. Like Draymond Green in a Heat with the Miami Heat, that's attractive to me. I could see that. That's great for the attitude of Miami. But
he fits, but I feel it'd be redundant for us. But you can't
as a 4, no. I mean at the 4 with Jimmy and Bam and maybe him coming off the bench, maybe, and I could see.
I wouldn't do that because of Jovic and Bam, the development there.
Yeah, but again, it's about winning championships. Jovic develops with the Skyforce. He develops when he has opportunity. Like yesterday, he's not starting. He's not even in the rotation. He's playing garbage minutes right now. So I'm not worried about Jovic. Now, the other name I'll tell you that I think is an interesting one, just because I think it's a legit possibility. He could be looking on the way out. Is another 4, which is Siakam out of Toronto. That he might be an op. You could remove Tyler Hero, maybe or reunite Kyle Lowry, I don't know, send a pick, but Siakam, I think would fit great. He's not a one. You can't really. I don't know if you could build around him. Like for Toronto's sake, Toronto, I think needs to try to figure that out. He's a very good player. He's a great player. He can be a great player, but he's a B player, and I don't mean like he's a B talent. No, I mean he's a B player.
He's a second. Team. Yeah, he can't be the top. He can't be the top scorer.
He can't be. But can you see him? I mean, with offensively, but him, Bam, and Jimmy, you think about that front court, that's a player who's probably realistic, but I think it's probably doable, which will definitely help the Heat. And again, you think about the fit on the floor, but you also think about the fit as the culture, quote unquote. And I can see Siakam fitting that culture.
Yeah. You know one name. I mean, I'm not gonna. Last year I was into him, but I know it's a backup option. I know they're gonna talk about Christian Wood. But another name that I want to keep an eye on, once again, is Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
Jeremy Grant, that's a name because he's a free agent, so you could do a sign and trade there. I do want to monitor, Bob, and I know this might sound crazy because I don't know what's going to happen, really. With the Chris Middleton situation and the Bucks, I want to see what happens with Giannis because Giannis, nothing's going to come out. I want to see who the coach is, but Milwaukee has a decision to make because they're into this core, and I do believe the one that we can make a play for, and I would love, is Brook Lopez because you can acquire Brook. Remember, we have the mid-level exception, which I believe is the mid-level exception or the biannual exception. I got to check because we're going to be a tax team, and if we go deep, obviously that we win a championship. People talk so much shit about Mickey. If you go back for all these years, we have paid, I think, the fourth or the fifth most taxes in the NBA since the Big Three era. So this year, once again, you're hearing it here, we're going to be an over-the-cap team. We're going to pay a luxury tax next year. Mickey has no problem extending some guys or going over the cap if the team demands it. Why? Because you got college money coming off the books. You have possibly moving Duncan. There's so many moving parts that, Bob, honestly, one of my main things, I do want him to keep Jovic. I could see them moving him in the perfect situation, but I know they don't want to move him. I'm excited for Jamal Cain. I'm excited for Bougier. So there's a lot of options here. So it all's going to come down to, like you mentioned, when a player decides to come out and say, I don't want to be here. I just want to go to Miami. I just want to go somewhere. And look, we're talking about, Bob, it's already a 3-point game in the Lakers and Nuggets. The lead is down to 3. That's it. Like, that's the run. Like, that's what you have. And now the Nuggets, I'm telling you, man, basketball's beautiful. Basketball's a beautiful game.
Humble Jimmy Butler.
The Lakers look lost. LeBron James for 3. He's off. Here we go. Here comes the Nuggets.
Let me just go ahead and remind everybody. First off, thank you everybody for tuning in, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch. We appreciate you. Again, forgive me for not being my normal self. Got a cold coming up here. Trying to fight it while I'm doing this. I'll drop dead after. Let's touch on Dolphins as we are waiting it out. First off, the Florida Panthers, just an update. They are in the third period. The Panthers are still up 1-0. So they're leaning towards a 3-0 lead possibly in their series following the Heat. So that's pretty good. 2-3, 2-3, 4, 2-3. Nuggets in 4. Humble Jimmy Butler. Nuggets basketball is beautiful. You will see in the finals. We are watching. We've been watching them. And if you don't think Heat basketball is beautiful, I think you need to get some glasses. Anyway, Dolphins.
We will
touch
see
on that,
2,
Alex.
3, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3.
Oh gosh. Even the name is a troll. The Miami Dolphins started their OTAs, and first off, props to Mike McDaniel, who was hyping up the fans in the Kitsania Center. How do you say that, Laim? Kasaya? What's the Heat stadium? Arena?
It's Kazaya.
Kasaya. Hyping up the fans.
Kazaya Center.
Cheering on the Heat. Jalen Ramsey, just the same. Every game he's been at. First off, the Heat are undefeated at home.
Denver up 1, Bob.
My glasses break every time I watch the Dolphins, but they're clear when I'm watching Jimmy Butler. It's a pretty sight to watch Jimmy Butler play basketball, and it was a great game yesterday for the Heat overall as a team. And the Nuggets no one's sleepy on the Nuggets, not one damn bit. Nuggets are a damn good basketball team. That's going to be a fun fight.
They're the best team.
I hope it's a fun win, lose, or draw. I mean, obviously we want the Heat to win. But win, lose, or draw, I hope it lives up to the hype, because I think it's going to be people are talking down on the Nuggets and the Heat and saying, oh, we wanted to see Lakers versus Nuggets. You only wanted to see, Lakers versus Celtics. You only wanted to see that because of the title, of the name on the uniform.
Yeah.
Not because of the play on the court.
Let me tell you something, Bob. This is one thing that is for the foreseeable future, for the next couple of years, this is the NBA that people have to get used to watching. It's going to be team basketball once again. Yeah. This is the most parity I've ever seen in the NBA. And this is going to be for 5-6 years. There's no clear-cut superstar. There's going to be a few two-player tandems, but it's going to be more team basketball, more role players.
Yeah, I was just at Broward. I could feel the energy down there. I hope that arena is rocking next week. Me as well.
It will be too.
It'll be awesome, man. It's going to be awesome. But the Dolphins, again, we were talking about Mike McDaniel at the game yesterday with Jalen Ramsey. Ramsey has attended all the games. He's undefeated so far. He says win attending, so we hope he continues to attend games. I love that he's embraced the Heat, South Florida, the sports. He's involving himself. I love that for Jalen Ramsey. I hope he has an amazing season. I expect him to do too, with Mike McDaniel, with Vic Fangio. Mike McDaniel, another one, embracing South Florida sports with the Miami Heat. Really making a name himself. Obviously, he has to win games. That's all that matters. He has to show up during the season. Mm-hmm. He has to make the playoffs, which we assume he would with the talent they have and what he showed last year. It's pretty damn good to be a South Florida sports fan right now. Pretty damn good.
It is, man.
And I want to talk about something I found interesting. First off, one of the underrated signings for the Miami Dolphins was really a re-signing, which was Andrew Van Ginkel. When the Dolphins brought back Van Ginkel, I was very excited. He is an impact player. He's not a superstar, not a sexy name by any means. He's not a household name for the NFL, but he's a very important piece to this Dolphins defense. And he's going to be first of all, he could have left and went for more money somewhere else. He came back to the Dolphins because Fangio sees how he could fit in this defense. And now there's a report that came out. We were wondering what that could be, what his role could be. And now the role that's coming out is inside linebacker, which is pretty damn cool. More playing time. And that means Fangio is putting his attention to that positions and also Van Ginkel. So I'm very excited with that update on the Miami Dolphins. I'm excited to see what Van Ginkel can do. We've seen what he can do when given the time, but let's see what he does in a more expanded role. I'm excited to see going forward what he can do for Fangio and the Dolphins defense. Make sure I could touch on here. Okay. And if the Miami Dolphins, the new third quarterback rule. Looking to avoid what happened in the 22 NFC Championship game, NFL owners approved a new bylaw money allowing teams to have an emergency third quarterback on game day. That's huge. I love that. Because I hate
That's smart.
where it was like, yeah, when like Tua was down and we had only Skylar and Teddy, and then Teddy got hurt, and then you're like, holy crap, we only have Skylar, and we could end up with a receiver or a running back being your quarterback. No. Now you have all three guys, and if, let's say, Tua's out of game, you go ahead and bring a guy off the practice squad, and you got three guys throughout that game. Another interesting Dolphins nugget. It's not really Dolphin news, but it is something to watch out for, because it is a rumor that if something happened to Tua, God forbid, gets injured or whatever, who's the guy they're going to call to come out of retirement, or the report, or the rumor, or people's wishes? It's Tom Brady. Guess what Tom Brady is now? Part owner of Raiders. Do you think he's going to sell that to go play on the team? I don't think so.
No, sir.
So
that's it. Put it to rest. Put it to rest.
Go to sleep. The Dolphins will hold joint practices with the Falcons.
Okay.
Fun. Make sure I have all my stuff here. I don't want to miss it. I think we are good. Ogba's out. Ogba's been cleared to come back, so I'm excited about seeing him. He was out last year. But holy, the Patriots could use that. Am I right? This is the third Nugget comeback in a row, by the way. Well, the Nuggets are a strong team, and actually, let me go back and look at that.
Yeah,
I'm watching the Panthers. I'm following the Panthers versus the Hurricanes, and the Panthers are continuing to lead. They're up 1-0. We'll turn on that Lakers game. What a 3-point lead for Denver.
That's it, man. And what's crazy, Bob, Carmelo retired. They have a dilemma there because Jokic is 15. Carmelo was the original 15. You have to retire both.
Do you? First off, I'm not a big fan of retiring numbers anymore, but if you were to retire a number, if Jokic, who won 2 league MVPs, and if he wins a final, obviously I hope he does not, but if he does win a final this season, his number has to be up in the rafter, not Carmelo. Put number 7 in New York, and I don't think about 15 in Denver. He didn't win league MVP in Denver. He didn't win a final in Denver. Why would his number go up? Nostalgia?
Oh man, yeah, of course, they're gonna do it.
Oh crap, no, let them retire 7 in New York.
Oh my God,
Jokic, if he got 2 MVPs, if he wins a final, dude, it's written in stone. He's number 15. He's the history-making
I
15
just
guy.
watched Tristan Thompson post up, and it's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. God, man. Dude,
Tristan Thompson, dude.
just
He is attached to LeBron by the
all he
hip.
does. Oh, for sure. And you know what's funny, Bob? Do you remember Damon Jones from the Heat, right? Do
Yeah.
you remember when he went to the Cavaliers with LeBron? Damon Jones has been by LeBron's side, I think, for 15 years now, bro. Everywhere he goes, you see Damon Jones walking with him. I don't even know what is his official title. Like just LeBron's friend, LeBron's like personal whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, it's an entourage. They're basically it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if I could do that. After a while, like, let me go my way, you go your way. I'll do my thing, you go do your thing. But to be following around somebody forever,
it's part of his team.
Maybe. I guess if you're working,
you have
for
to be
him.
on payroll. You have to have.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're not on payroll, what are you doing? Yeah,
you're just freeloading.
Yeah, at that point. All right, so
bro,
it's 93.
Denver. This is insane. Denver's gonna win this game by 10
Davis's
plus,
face.
bro. Man,
Anthony
that's
Davis.
it. This is a run. This is the run.
Elvis Presley would say, "It's over." Panthers still up 1-0. All right.
I hope it doesn't get tied, man. We have this thing about going overtime. I really hope it doesn't get tied now in the third.
I know, right? 1-1,
oh
the
my
final
God.
minute.
That first game was brutal, Bob. I watched it. I think it was like until 2:20.
I did too. No, I didn't watch it till the end. I turned it off probably at the third overtime. I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna close this out.
Oh my God. And we almost went to a fifth overtime, bro.
I know.
Literally with 12 seconds.
I woke up the next day and I went, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Holy crap!" It was awesome, but you got to give them the Panthers, the Miami Heat. Want to see what the Marlins can do.
Yeah.
The Dolphins.
And man, Aaron Gordon with Denver, what an acquisition! People didn't see it at the time.
Denver overall, they're players, man.
Jamal Murray.
Talk about Nuggets versus Heat, Miami versus Denver. The Marlins are playing the Colorado Rockies tonight at the bottom of the seventh. They are down 2-3. The Marlins are 24-23 on the season with the Rockies 19-28. I know people are talking crap on
Marlins are still a year or two away.
They are, but
their pitching staff is top notch, man.
I am
major league debut.
I am optimistic on the Marlins. I am excited for their future with their young squad if they could keep it. I love their I know this is kind of like a bad word for some people. I love their progressive attitude or what they've done in order, like their front office with Kim. I don't want to butcher her last name, but the general manager. I love what they're doing. Can they beat the Padres though? Could they beat the Padres? The Padres are struggling. I was just listening to Major League Baseball radio. I have Sirius XM radio, and I take advantage of that. I love that damn thing.
Padres have a big payroll, but they haven't been able to do the production on field. You haven't seen it. You haven't seen it on the field.
That's my thing.
Those are teams that you can justify, but it's going to come down to a moment that you're like, whoa. Is it worth what we're paying if we're not going to produce? Like the Dodgers. The Dodgers.
They're 3 and 4, or no, they're 4, not 3. They're fourth in the NL West. Can't pull up the record, but I mean Fernando Tatis, goodness gracious, Juan Soto, again that's Juan Soto. Those are those big names that you think, oh, that team's gonna blow it up, and then they go crap the bed.
Oh yeah, of course, man. It happens, bro. It happens. And look, I believe the Marlins are finally following the proper way to build, which is the way the Houston Astros build. When you're a small market team, you have to build through the draft. You can't miss on the draft. So they're doing the right things, There's honestly they have to pull this whole thing on Jacob Stallings, the catcher. I do want to move on from him. He's a great defensive catcher, but he's not the future there. So you might see some changes. Yuri Perez is pitching lights out. Sandy Alcantara was struggling a little bit, but the numbers don't show it. but he's pitching pretty decent, even in comparisons to last year. It's just the luck hasn't been on his side, but they'll get it together. They'll get it together. They'll be winning baseball.
Let me just say very quick. We'll close this out in just a minute. What's trending right now on Twitter?
You need some rest, man.
Yeah, I need to lay down.
Need some rest, bro.
Anthony Davis is trending. Well, at least the trend is right now. Trade AD. Let me read some of these. One says
you could do that. You could do that.
One says Lakers got to trade AD. LeBron was heated. He didn't even try to contest that Brown layup. Trade the other one. Trade AD and build around LeBron and Tristan Thompson. That's hilarious. The third one. Trade AD. He's an embarrassment. Laker fans are not happy right now. 36-16 this corner. These MFers don't want to play basketball anymore. Go to F in Cancun. Trade AD. Go rest up since you also. Okay, well, yeah, he's pretty vulgar. He's going off there. My goodness, that is so inexcusable, though. I get it. Look at this. Anthony, first off, LeBron James, 36 minutes, 35 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Anthony Davis, 31 minutes, 11 points, 11 rebounds. That is inexcusable. That is terrible.
Look, it's not going to happen, Bob, but we talked about this last year. What happens if LeBron says, you know what?
Yep.
I'm taking my talents out to South Beach again.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I do it in a heartbeat, bro. I was like,
man,
I do it in a heartbeat.
God, I am telling you right now, Bob, and I'm not trying to stir up anything. I understand why LeBron left, and he's won 2 championships. I guarantee you, if LeBron would have stayed here, we would have been rebuilt many times around. He would have won multiple championships. But I also say this. If Jimmy Butler would have been here, we talked about this yesterday. Jimmy Butler, this is the conversation we're going to have. And I know we've talked about it. We're going to have it another time because I know you're tired. But this team has shown that you can rebuild many times on over and still be competitive. If you see the stats, Bob, this is what our 7th conference final or our 7th. It's going to be our 7th final appearance in the last 17 years. They had a crazy stat about Pat Riley being involved in how many? I think 25% or 24% of all the NBA finals, either as a player, as a coach, as an executive. Like, this is a Class A organization, man. And I'm just proud. I'm just proud of his home, honestly, man.
I am too. 4 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. Florida up 1-0. Nick Voss did tweet at us. Our
Mr.
brother
Nick Voss.
Mr. Nicky Voss. He says, love you guys. I'm backstage in the middle of my 2nd show tonight. I would love to come on during my month break to catch up and talk on the show. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Absolutely.
He's one of the original East 10th Street boys.
He's an East 10th Street boy. We got to get him on. That would be awesome. We had some fun stories to talk about, man. That would be a great show for everybody.
Oh, for sure. And we could get Harrison on, and then if we get your sister, we got to put East 10th Street boys and girls.
Yeah, right. So yeah. Gotta work on a whole other logo. But gosh. All right, guys. Hey, I want to thank you all for tuning in, for watching East 10th Street Boys straight out of Hialeah on the Fitz Talk Sports Network. We got some great stuff going on the channel. I mean, we're just growing. We got some cool stuff just brewing. I mean, again, and if you're tuning in for the first time and you haven't hit that subscribe button, do so. If you love talking sports, this network was created by a fan for the fans. Your voices deserve to be heard. Do you like talking baseball? Do you like talking Marlins? Do you like talking hockey and Panthers, basketball, wrestling? Hey, find me on Twitter at Bobby Fins Talk. Let me know. I'd love to get you on here and possibly even a part of one of our shows. We're growing here. We're growing on YouTube. We're going to broadcast our podcast eventually, get a website. We're just doing some cool things here, and love to get, if you ever thought about just getting on board and doing something like this, let me know. I'd love to touch base with you guys. But for everyone else, again, thank you for tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe button. Continue, add in the comments your thoughts on what we've discussed tonight. I don't want to mess up your name. I was going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, but I know that's not how it goes. 2, 4, 23423 in the comments tonight. Thank you for tuning in. And again, whether you're watching on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, man, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Alex, any final thoughts?
My man, let's just go Heat. I hope we close it out tomorrow. A big shout out, like you mentioned. The reason you see this man is so tired because this man does not stop. And the commitment to the network, the commitment to all of us that are part of this network, we're proud of him. We love him. And like you mentioned, there's a lot of great things happening behind the scenes that you guys will see shortly. So if you want to be a part of it, do not miss this opportunity. This is once in a lifetime. And we want to help him out so he's not tired anymore. Look at that man. That man looks like he's about to knock out. And with all that noise in the background, I know you're not going to knock out.
I'm not. It's a fantasy. No, thank you all for tuning in. And I appreciate the kind words, in regards to the network, to Alex, to Steve, Rob, Evan, Hank, Dave, Brett, Josh Wingate, Josh Kimmel, Mike Brown, who's on vacation, who's having a blast out there. I've been looking at him on Twitter.
Man, those pictures look nice.
Yeah, dude. Alex Brown, Alfred Matthews, our friends of the channel, Miss Finns, Nando tuned in.
You said Clutch?
Was Clutch, thank you. Justin, Garfield, all those guys. I owe it all to them. It's awesome. It's easy. It's better to bust your ass on something that you have awesome people on your side because you see it happen, and so it's really cool. So, all right, everyone, thank you all for tuning in. Go Miami Heat, go Panthers, fins up. We will see you. You'll see Alex on Wednesday night for the last Wednesday night fast break before they move to Tuesday nights. Until then, we'll see you on the other side. God bless.
Peace.
Peace.
It's a night.